Hey, and welcome to our video tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to build a simple searchable interface for the Flex framework that allows us to filter data. So if I select an option for status and I click search, my data will filter. We can also reset to bring back and revert to the previous results. So let's go inside Caspio and see how we can build out a search form and the results for the Flex framework. Now that I'm inside Caspio, the video is going to assume that you know how to build a table, which includes a few fields, along with some data types, and perhaps you even have some sample data or your actual data inside the Caspio platform. If you don't know how to build a table, please watch some of our other videos that we have in our knowledge base. Building a table is very simple. When you're in the tables menu, you can always create a new table, assign your data types, and add some data so that you can test the search capability. Once you have your table created, let's navigate over to our Designer tab. Once you're inside a Designer tab, you're going to click on the app page that you have listed on the left-hand side. If you need to learn more about app pages and adding different app pages for different user groups and segments, visit our knowledge base to learn how to do that. But once you're inside the app page, go ahead and click on Add Elements, select the search form, select your data source table, and then choose the fields that you would like to filter the data on. So for the interest of time, I will select first name, last name, maybe company name, and the status field. Click Next. The only modification I'm going to make is for my status field. I'd like this to become a dropdown. I will use lookup table, and then immediately Caspio detects the table and the status field is selected for me by default. If you want to make additional changes to your search form, perhaps you want to have multiple columns, you can add additional sections. You can also go to Appearance if you want the label position to appear elsewhere. I'm happy with this. I'm just going to click on Save. And we should be able to now see all four of those search fields inside the app page. You can adjust the search form if you'd like. You can make it wider. You can make it more narrow. You can also move it around, maybe in the middle if you'd like. But I'm happy to keep it here in the upper left corner. Now let's go ahead and add another element. And this time we are going to select the tabular report. You have other reports that you can choose from for different layouts. Select the data source table once again, and I'm just going to select all of my fields to be included in the results page. I'm going to click Next, and I'm not going to make any changes, so I will click Save, and we should be able to see the results directly underneath the search form. Now, to connect the search form and the results page, we do need to set the filters on the results page. But before we do that, best practice is to always give your data parts a name, so it's easier to find when you're setting up your filters. So select the first data part, click on the pencil icon, and let's call this maybe search form. Let's select the second data part, and we will call this report. And now let's set up the filters on the results page. Let's create our first filter, and let's start with the first name. Because I'm searching my data on first name, last name, company, and status, I will select the first name. I want to use the filter type contains, because I want to be able to see a broader results range. So if I type in letter A and click search, it's going to return all the first names that contain that letter. Data part field, let's select the report, search form, and now you can see why it's important and best practice to name your data parts because it's much easier to locate, especially if you have additional data parts listed. First name and click Save. 3 more filters to set up. Let's go with last name, contains, data part, report, search form, last name, company name, contains, data part, report. And last but not least, we are going to select our status field is equal to, because in the dropdown, we're going to see a list of options and you're going to select an option. So it has to equal to, and then we're going to select data part field, report, status, and click Save. Feel free to experiment here by adding additional logical operators, adding groups. There are tons of ways of customizing the filters. For now, we're going to keep things simple and click Save. And in order to see how this functions, we need to go to our Deployment tab, click on the link, and now we have all 4 of our search fields. We can filter based on maybe the lead, click search, and we should be able to see all the contacts that are leads. I can reset the search. If I look for somebody with the letters OS, it's going to return Oscar and Yoshino. And once again, I can always reset the search to revert back and bring back the old data. So that's how easy it is to set up a search interface inside the Flex framework. If you have additional questions or need more assistance, visit our knowledge base at howto.caspio.com or feel free to contact somebody at Caspio if you need more technical support. Thanks for watching.